So there was a woman who just fired her lawyer because ChatGPT told her so. And now OpenAI is being sued for $10 million. You are listening to Head of the Algorithm, the podcast for business owners who refuse to be one step behind. I'm your host, Julia Mann, AI expert, marketing strategist, and someone who has built businesses the hard way so you don't have to. New episodes every week. Let's get into it. Welcome back. So today we're actually talking about how all of these different AI tools or LLMs actually work under the hood and why hallucination happens, which is what happened to the lady, and why it matters for your business as well, and what we can actually do to problem solve that. Okay, so here's what happened. This is a little bit of a backstory. This woman who fired her lawyer, she had a disability claim against her employer. Now, the case was settled. Yeah, that's really, really important to note. She had already signed a full legal release and it was done. Then she uploaded her lawyer's message to ChatGPT and asked if she was being gaslit. And ChatGPT said, yep, you are. So she fired her attorney right then and there, and she then started using ChatGPT to run her own case. She filed over 60 documents against a lawsuit that was legally closed. And by the time it reached court, her employer had spent $300,000 US defending a case that was already over. They have now sued OpenAI for $10 million, including a claim for practicing law without a license. Now, Chat did not have access to her settlement documents. It did not understand the specifics of her case, but it answered very confidently anyway. And this is what hallucination looks like when the stakes are real. Now, before I'm going any further, I want to explain something that most people do not fully understand about these tools, or these LLMs, large language models. And once you understand it, everything else I say will make completely sense. So bear with me here. So we have ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok. They are all what is called large language models. And here's the simplest way I can explain how they work. They're not just looking things up. They're not just searching a database. They're not just retrieving facts. They're actually predicting. Think about the autocomplete on your phone when you type, I will see you, and your phone then suggests soon or tomorrow or there. It is not thinking. It's actually pattern matching. It has learned from everything you have typed before, and it predicts what comes next. And these AI tools, they do the same thing, but obviously at a scale that is almost impossible to imagine because there's so much information and so many people in the world. So they were trained on billions of pieces of text from the internet, books, articles, websites, forums, social media, all of it. And from all of that, they learn patterns and what words follow other words, for example. So what sentence follows this sentence, what a legal answer sounds like, and what a business strategy sounds like, what a medical explanation sounds like. So when you ask ChatGPT a question, it is not finding the answer. It is actually generating what the answer should sound like based on patterns it learned from everything it was trained on the internet. And here is where it gets important, when it does not actually have the right information. When the real answer is not in its trained data, it does not stop and say, I don't know, sorry, or keep researching your own area of expertise. It keeps predicting. It's hallucinating. It generates what sounds right, confidently, fluently, and very convincingly. That's hallucination. It's not a glitch. It's not a bug. It's a fundamental feature of how these systems work. And that woman in Illinois asked ChatGPT a legal question about her specific case, and Chat had never seen her case documents. It had no access to her settlement agreement, and it did not know Illinois disability law at the end of the day, and it didn't know it at that level of detail anyway that was required. But it predicted what the answer should sound like, and it sounded very certain, so she believed it. So would have I probably as well if I wasn't in AI and knowing how this works. So she fired her lawyer. And then she spent months fighting a case that was already legally closed. So $300,000 in damages, $10 million lawsuit because an AI predicted confidently instead of saying it did not know. Now, here's the second layer of this that I want you to understand because it connects directly to how you use AI in your business on a daily basis. These tools were trained by scraping the internet. That is their source. It predicts everything publicly available online, blogs, articles, YouTube forums, transcripts, free content it can access. And here's the thing about that free content. a lot of it is bloody wrong. And a lot of it was written by people with no experience, influencers, experts that aren't really experts. A lot of it was written by people trying to get Google clicks. They're not trying to give you accurate information. It's all built for search engine optimization. So the AI learned from all of that, the good and the bad and the ugly, the accurate and the inaccurate, from the expert and the person who just sounded like one. Now, think about what that means for your business. When you ask ChatGPT a very serious question about your sales process, your pricing, your legal exposure, your financial structure, it is generating an answer based on patterns free from the internet, written by anyone and verified by no one. And from what I have seen working inside businesses across 64 countries, the information that actually moves a business is almost never on the internet, at least not for free. So think about that last coaching program you paid for. If you have ever been inside of a paid mastermind or high-level course, a private community, you know the real information is behind a paid firewall, right? And that's what you pay for, obviously. The actual framework that top companies use every single day, Fortune 500 companies, the real decision that happens in boardrooms, and the strategies that people pay thousands of dollars to sit in a room to hear. That content is not on the internet. The AI scrapers cannot get into it. So the AI does not have that information. And you are getting the free version of the answer. And as we just saw, when the stakes are really high, the free version is just not good. It's actually quite dangerous. And there is also something else that I want to share that I think is really important for anyone running a serious business. When you use a public AI tool, you are using a shared system built for millions of people. Your questions, your strategies, your numbers, your plans, all of it goes through the same system. For everyday tasks, that's totally fine. But for the sensitive side of running a business, like your financials, your legal questions, your competitive plans, your client information, it is worth thinking carefully, very carefully about where the information goes. Every serious tool you already use in your business is protected. Your accounting software is protected, your CRM, your emails, it's all sitting in a secure environment. Your AI should work the same way. So let me tell you what my partners and I spent the last 10 months and over $4.2 million building. I'm a senior managing partner at the AI agency group, and we run something called Core Brain AI in over 64 countries. And we kept seeing the same problem. Business owners are using AI, they're getting confident sounding answers and making decisions based on information that's not good at all. And so we built something different. JT1 runs on a private server. Your information stays yours, nothing leaks. And the knowledge inside of it does not come from straight the internet. It actually came from 8,000 hours of real conversations with billionaires and multimillionaires, and the actual systems from over 80 businesses doing very serious numbers. It's not blog posts, it's not a forum or a thread, not free content written by anyone with a keyboard. It's documented, verified, and real, and used by Fortune 500 companies. This is the stuff people pay thousands of dollars for. Like I said before, you want to get in the room with the smartest people, this is it. And this kind of knowledge that normally sits behind that paid firewall, we now have built into a platform, and we structured it across 6 areas, mainly because these are the 6 places where we found most businesses either grow or get stuck. And the 6 areas are sales, marketing, social media, accounting, legal, and also CEO decision making. And that legal category, think about what I just told you about that lawsuit. When you ask JT1 a legal question relevant to your business, you're not getting a prediction based on random internet content. You're getting frameworks that were used before and that were built from real documented experience of businesses that have navigated those situations on a private server with your information fully protected. Though that's a completely different thing. Now, with general AI rolling the dice on whether the answer is generated based on good information or bad, whether it's predicting accurately or confidently filling a gap, it should not be filling, And with JT1, the knowledge base that we have built, it was built with that intention. It was curated. It was verified from people who have actually done it. Look, I use AI every day, and I'm not telling you to stop, but at least obviously get the paid version. It's far less worse than what the free version is. But if you want to understand what you're working with, a large language model trained on free internet content will generate an answer that sounds right. But whether it is actually right is a completely different question. And as that $10 million lawsuit just showed, when the stakes are really, really high, the difference really matters. And JT1 was built because the stakes are real, and your business is real, and your decisions are real. You deserve input that was built to match that. If you want to find out more about how it works inside a real business, book a call with me. There's no pitch, just a conversation. I can show you the system. The links are all in the show notes or on the channel wherever you're watching this. So I hope this was valuable. Make sure you share it with someone else if you find that they might benefit from it. And don't forget to stay ahead.